Dear Chairman Buffett, board members, and shareholders, I am Richard Miller. I'm an associate professor of philosophical theology and sustainability studies at Creighton University. I write and teach on ethical issues raised by the climate crisis. As a rationale for voting no on the divestment resolution, the board maintained that Berkshire should not limit its universe of potential investments based upon complex social and moral issues, and that following state and federal laws was sufficient to meet your obligations. There is not only an overwhelming consensus in the scientific community about the reality and dangers of climate change, but there is also an overwhelming consensus among all major ethical theories that one is not morally justified to use increased profit as a rationale for doing harm to others. By continuing to invest in and thus promote the extracting, processing, and burning of fossil fuels, Berkshire is doing harm to people around the world and creating conditions that will threaten future generations. While one is not morally justified to use increased profits as a rationale for doing harm to others, one cannot also opt out of ethical considerations by appealing to moral complexity. When you're doing harm to others, especially at this scale, there is no neutral space. Nor can you simply appeal to the fact that Berkshire is following state and federal laws, when those laws are themselves unethical and that they allow the United States to violate the human rights of people around the world and set in motion catastrophic future for young people. The consensus among ethical theories will in due time become self-evident to the average person, analogous to the way slavery as an evil is self-evident today. Indeed, the recognition of the immorality of investing in fossil fuels is rapidly gaining ground as more and more institutions divest their fossil fuel holdings. Mr. Buffett, you're standing on an ethical house of cards, and it is only a matter of time before it comes tumbling down. Like the thousands gathered here and the millions on live stream, I admire your considerable achievements, but I am afraid that if you do not change course very soon, history will not judge you kindly. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. The motion is now ready to be acted upon. If there are any shareholders voting in person, they should now mark their ballots on the motion and deliver their ballots to one of the meeting officials in the aisles. Ms. Amick, when you're ready, you may give your report.
My report is ready. The ballot of the proxy holders in response to proxies that were received through last Friday afternoon casts 7,784 votes for the motion and 594,044 votes against the motion. As the number of votes against the motion exceeds a majority of the number of votes of all Class A and Class B shares properly cast on the matter, as well as all votes outstanding, the motion has failed. The certification required by Delaware law of the precise count of the votes will be given to the Secretary to be placed with the minutes of this meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Amick. The proposal fails, and Mr. Scott, do you have a motion?
I move the meeting be adjourned.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
The motion to adjourn has now been made and seconded. We will vote by voice. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and come again next year.